Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about the small Cyansky M2 keychain light that was sent to me by Cyansky. I was contacted by someone, Susie, at Cyansky, and she was wondering if I would do a review on this light. So they sent me this model here, and we're going to take a look at it. The box and packaging seems decent for a small light. I like the color. It's got some information on the front here, and it's got some information on the back here too we can go over. According to them, their output at 5 lumens is going to be 24 hours of runtime. The medium mode is going to be about 5 hours of runtime. High mode, it lists at about 0.8 hours of runtime at 200 lumens. And then you have a strobe also at 200 lumens for 1.6 hours. And then they have a little graph here showing what the runtimes are. It does come with, according to the packaging, a clip, holster, lanyard, BL1826 battery, O-ring, and a spare tail cap, and a manual and a warranty card. And then they have the information down here. So this is the back of the box, and that's the front. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. This appears to be a quick release cap here, or not quick release, but a tie-in one, and a little keychain holder, a micro USB recharger cable. We have the user manual, and we have the warranty card here. So interesting. Let's open up the manual and take a look inside. Okay, we get the parameters again. Let's see if this will focus. Again, it restates the run times here, like it shows at the back here. It does also state over here that there's a 200 milliamp hour lithium ion battery inside. So that's quite interesting. The light itself here, it's a plastic or cardboard type material. This is the M2 Cyansky. It looks like it's got a smooth reflector in there. So already this is kind of an interesting design. It's got a little flat section here in the aluminum. Feels pretty decent. I don't know if it's hard anodized level 3 or whatever, but here's the on button, I suppose. Turn that on. There's low mode. Interesting. Medium, high, low, medium, and high. And if you hold it, gets strobe. So pretty intuitive right outside the box here. And you hold to turn off. This is the LED on the charging port here. It's glowing red, and you plug in the micro USB into here. So it's charging right now. I found out in the manual that we have a Cree XPG2 S4 LED emitter inside of here. We have a 16340 battery inside. The front is made out of glass with anti-reflective coating. The reflector is a vacuum plated aluminum. The outside is a hard anodized type 3 anti-abrasive finish. We have a low voltage warning indicator on here, and we have the weight, which is 18.5 grams, IPX68 waterproof, and I think this has a drop rating of 2 meters. I must have missed it in the manual somewhere. I forgot where it was, but we have a drop rating here. Here it is, 2.5 meter impact resistance. So interesting for a small light here. Going along the other options here, we have the intelligent protection, which basically means that when there's a lot of heat, this will step down to 100 lumens. We have low voltage warning, which the red here, the LED here, will flash 3 times within 5 minutes to let you know that's lower than 3 volts. We also have voltage downshift, which will put the light into eco mode, which will reduce the lumen output basically on the light. The battery level indicator will also tell you how much battery power you have by single clicking the switch here. We'll unplug it from here, and it does note that it is a green LED, but I have a blue LED in mine, so I don't know if they're going to change that in the manual to reflect the exact LED that's inside the light here. But let's do this here. If you push once, it'll show blue, or the manual says green, but blue constant on means basically you're higher than 85% in here. If this is flashing, right, it's going to say it's a little bit more than 50%, but less than 85%. If red is constantly on here, that means it's more than 25% and less than 50%. And if the red's flashing on here, it's less than 25%. So that's how the battery indicator works. What's interesting here, it also says that if you're not going to use this for an extended period of time, it says remove the battery from the light. I'm not exactly sure how you're going to remove the battery out of this light here, because this light is doesn't have any points where you can pull out the battery on it. So I think that's a mistake in the manual, and they should redo the manual here, especially with the specifics about the LED being blue versus green. I mean, it's a minor detail, but presentation means a lot though too, especially when it comes to the manual and operations. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get some beam shots on this guy and see how it looks. Okay, we're back shooting at an aperture of 7.1, frames per second is 24, ISO is 2500, temperature rating 3000 Kelvin on a Panasonic GH2 with a 14 to 42 millimeter lens. This is the Cree XP-G3 S4 LED, and we're at 5 lumens right now. And we're about 1.25 feet above the table here, coming closer to the table. You can see it's got a hot spot in the center here with that smooth reflector and a good amount of spill coming out on the edges here. There is a slight bit of artifacting right about here on my hotspot. It's barely noticeable, but it is there. And it's not a big deal to me, but that might be a big deal to a few other people. Let's go ahead and move up to medium mode, which is 20 lumens. And this is 20 lumens at about 1.5 feet above the table. So definitely much brighter and probably a more functional use outdoors. And then let's go to 200 lumens. So that completely blows out my camera here, going in the front there and back up, and then rotates back down into the low mode. So it's a click and you change modes, as you can see. Let's do strobe real quick, and it changes cycling here. Looks like 2 different rates that it cycles at. I don't have a hertz cycle hertz measurer, but let's turn that back to low by pushing once, and then let's push and hold to turn off. We're going to go outside and get some beam shots with this. We're back shooting the aperture 3.5. Frames is 24 frames per second. ISO is 2500. Temperature rating is 4500 Kelvin on a Panasonic GH2. I'm going to go ahead and start in the low mode. This is low mode here. This is about 6 inches in front. Pretty good for up close. You can't see it in the camera here, but it does work out well as a thrower. Let's bump it up to medium mode at 20 lumens. You can see the spot there in the throw in the front. Well, that's about a good 10 feet, 12 feet away. I can't see too much in the distance there because we don't have too much in the field here, but it's a good throw. Let's bump this up to 200 lumens. And further out there, you can see that part of the tree stump there in the front where I'm circling. That's about 40 feet out. So the front yard here is not the best for testing lights, but this is the 200 lumen setting. And you can see it's working pretty well out in the front yard for a good thrower for its size. I'm going to go ahead and walk so you can see what it looks like walking. I'm going to walk up to the tree stump here. This is on low right now. I'm going to bump up to medium for a more useful output. And this is what it looks like on medium mode. This is high mode at 200 lumens. And this is low mode, 5 lumens. Go back to medium mode and walk back to the camera here. And I'm shooting the beam about 5 to 6 feet in front of me. We're back shooting at an aperture of 3.5. Frames is 24 frames per second. ISO is 2500 at a temperature rating of 4500 Kelvin for the white balance on a Panasonic GH2. We're on low mode right now in the hallway. The door is about 10 feet away, and I got my backpack there to the side. And this is the low mode at 5 lumens. So let's switch it up to medium mode. It's a little bit more useful here. And at the temperature rating that we have it at for the white balance, 4500, this is coming in at a pretty good tone here on the camera, if a little bit cooler. So I would guess that this LED is around 4300 maybe. We'll look it up on the website in a moment, but this is also high at 200 lumens. And as you can see, it lights up pretty well inside the house. We're back shooting at an aperture of 3.5 frames per second is going to be 24, an ISO 2500 with a temperature rating of 4500 for Kelvin rating on a Panasonic GH2. And this is the light on low mode inside a glass of water, testing out the IP68 waterproof rating. Let's take this out and change the modes here to see if it's still working. Okay, it looks like it is still working. Let's put it back on low and put it back inside. And that is the M2 from Cyansky waterproof test. This is not an exact drop proof test, but the concept is still here. Let's pick this up. Let's drop it again. Okay, looks like it's still working from the drop test. I just want to show the anti-reflective coating on the lens here. If I angle it just right in the light, you can see the purple shade there. That's the anti-reflective coating. And you can see the XP-G3 S4 LED emitter inside. I just wanted to show you guys what the company is that I got the M2 from, the free sample. So we have the M2 right here on their website. Their website is www.freezygears.com. That's Foxtrot Romeo Echo Alpha Sierra Yankee Golf Echo Alpha Romeo Sierra.com. Freezy.com. And this is the company. They have a bunch of different lights on here. They also sent me another light to review as well. We'll get to that in another video. This is the P25 model, which is right here. And this is the case that it comes in. So we'll do a video on that in the future. But this is what they have here. This is a Chinese company. So check out their products, see what you think. And if you want a review, they do have inquiry services for that too. Some closing thoughts on the Cyansky M2. Overall, I do like this light. I like the form factor, the size. I like the flat cuts here on the side here to prevent it from rolling, unlike these two lights here. I do like my push button switches here. It takes some getting used to the 0.5 second hold to use this light and the UI system inside. I've just been trained from other UIs and other lights that trying to remember all the UIs and how they work is kind of a tricky thing sometimes. But overall, it's a great little thing to have on here. I do appreciate the 3 modes plus the strobe mode, so 4 modes in total. I do like the different lumen output times for a variety of things. I find myself using medium mode a lot on this overall, and the low modes. The 200 lumen mode, not so much, but it's good to have that to see far out, and this does throw out the light pretty far out to about 40 feet. Some recommendations for upgrades. I think that they could upgrade the port cover here to a turnstile port cover. In my opinion, this is a little bit more robust and better to use instead of a flimsy rubber gasket here, which will eventually come off after so many recharge cycles. So that is a weak point in the light. The other upgrade I would recommend for the Cyansky M2, and a negative, is the fact that you can't interchange the battery. On the Mech Army X2S here, you can take out the 10180 battery out of it and replace it if you need to. The Cyansky M2, even though the literature states in the actual physical manual to disconnect the battery from the light, you cannot do that as far as I can tell. So this internal battery here you cannot replace. Overall, besides those two things, I think this is a great light. I do enjoy the fact that this has a glass lens with an anti-reflective coating on it. I do enjoy the smooth reflector. I do like a throw light of this size. And I think for the price point, this is about $17.95 normally. And the Mech Army X4S and the X2S, which I have here, this is the stainless steel version, but the X4S, the aluminum version, which is on the comparable level of these, is about $24, $25 online. I wouldn't pay more than probably $15 to $18 for this light here, only because I can't take out the battery outside of it. This light does also tail stand as a one final note, unlike the other two lights here, so you could theoretically put a small diffuser on top and use this as a mini lamp light or just tail stand it. So that is another bonus of this light. Overall, I think this is a great light to have for an EDC bag, for a camping bag, for a hiking bag, and for anybody who wants to give as a gift. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the Cyansky M2. Thank you, Cyansky, for sending me this light and letting me review it. Thanks for watching, guys.